Tisca, that opens up a lot of opportunity for you as an actress.
Yeah, certainly.
And
that is always welcome. What I had noticed from a lot of films that I've done, one burns one's heart and soul in making a film, and then because the distribution or the P&A is not good enough, or it's an indie sort of film or a niche sort of thing, then it becomes extremely difficult to send that film out into the larger world. With the advent of digital stuff, it's become so much easier to be able to directly access your audience, and if it's good, then word of mouth sends the film into another orbit. As in the case of Chutney, it's at 47.5 or something million views. So we spent 0 rupees on advertising it, nothing at all. So yeah, I think it's just absolutely fabulous, both for the audiences and for the makers, because the audiences also don't want a overly marketed film which is pushed down their throats every single day. And the makers, of course, want to not spend additional money on top of the product. I'd rather spend on making a very good film than on just pushing it out there. So I think it's a win-win.
Raghav?
Yes, sir.
How about you? What are the differences that you've seen? You know, you were a struggling actor, then moved into the...
That's right.
Has that got anything to do with the social media presence?
Actually, no, the money was really good. There wasn't anything else to it. Telugu is a very cash-rich business. I do think the cinema is rather formulaic, but yeah, you know, you need to...
But did you get any international offers based on your social media presence?
No, I think largely it was based on what people perceive to be talent, but not really on the basis of social media presence. No.
Okay. So you're good to stay in a regional space, Vivek, and you think that it is going to, the alternative content also that you're creating.
So that's another thing that you can keep in mind. You can't rely on syndication, of course, because it depends on the appeal of your content. And if you make something that flops, no one's going to pay for it. For film promotions, using YouTube as a film promotion platform, so a lot of people would pay for that. On top of that, there's selling rights to your content, say music rights. If you have a web series and you have some original music in that, you can release it on Apple Music Store and these kind of things. So there's a lot of ways that you can earn money from your content apart from YouTube advertising. So it's important to keep it in mind.
I don't think you imagine the success that Chutney would get.
No.
Was it because of the internet penetration?
Absolutely. It's on YouTube, free for anyone to view, and no clue. Absolutely none. I think we were just very focused on making this story. I think also what's interesting about a platform like YouTube and the digital space is that everyone can find their own kind of content. You know, it doesn't have to be that one big blockbuster film. There's micro content. So a short film is like a bikini. Because it is so short, it has to be so precise. So I think it's precisely to the people who like it. They will watch it. And if you don't like it, you won't get the number of views that you want. And that is the magic of it, that you can reach your target audience, your TG, very, very precisely. I like that part about the digital platform very much.
Over to you, Paula. What do you see? The difference between the emergence of premium platforms on localized content, right? Mm-hmm. And Vivek, guys like Vivek are going to create more and more alternative content. Guys like Raghav is going to create more and more content. Raghav, of course, is a multi-talented guy. I mean, do you see it is important to have multi-skill sets to be successful on digital?
Yes, it is.
Commercial, Bollywood, you've done television, you're doing digital content now. Did you ever feel that you didn't have the creative accomplishment or as a talent that you are aspiring to see that when the digital has emerged? For example, your Chutney is a good example. Does it give you more appetite to go and create such content?
I'm not
all
sure.
The dreams that you had, that you would have wanted to create act in a certain character, you would have missed out those opportunities. Do you see digital giving that opportunity to really live those dreams out there?
Yes, absolutely. I think this piece that I used to perform 15, 18 years back, Chutney, I used to perform it as a monologue at the Platform Theatre in Prithvi. When I was starting out, we were not even given slots inside Prithvi. And we wrote it then and as a short film and put it on YouTube, and it did well. So yes, I do see that. I think largely what works on the internet, from whatever little I understand, is there has to be a great deal of passion behind what you do. That will find resonance and its own sort of audience. So certainly it is, you can create content that you've always aspired to, and if it doesn't work for whatever reason, it's not like a year and a half gone into the production and that kind of many crores gone into the making of a feature film. So it's easier off the shelf. And you, as Paula mentioned, that it's extremely gratifying for a performer, because you know immediately and instantaneously. And also the whole system of films is where there's a whole lot of hogwash. When a film comes out, you hear 100 crores, 200 crores, 500 crores, etc. You don't know how much of that is true, not true, how many of those numbers are fudged. No one really knows the back end of films, the distribution end. Whereas YouTube is extremely transparent. You know, you see a clear scenario of how your views are going, what times your film is viewed at maximum, what is the demographic of the people. The algorithms tell you a lot of details, which is very interesting. So I like that whole idea of knowing exactly who your audience is and what they liked, and there are the whole comment section will tell you what they liked, what they didn't like. So it's almost like having a private interface with your audience, which for a performer, it's as close to theatre as possible, except in a theatre you can seat a maximum of, the largest audience I've ever performed to is 2,000 people at Stanford. Beyond that, I've not performed to a bigger audience than that. So I think YouTube in that sense has a quality of theatricality to it, to performing to a live audience in a way that it's very direct, very quick, very immediate and very transparent. So that's the beauty of it.
Tisca ma'am, what was the experience of making a short film like Chutney, and will you be doing any more web series in the future?
Chutney was, am I audible?
Yeah.
Am I audible? Can you hear me? I get the feeling that, yeah, now. Chutney was one of the most amazing experiences because, purely because it was very virgin territory as far as I was concerned. I had never, I was personally pushing a lot of boundaries because I hadn't ever written. I'd written a book, but nothing, nothing in fiction. So that was amazing. I never produced and not done such a tough role, which was physically so transformative. So in 3 or 4 ways, it was extremely challenging for me. It was a very stretching period. It's very gratifying to know that it has done so well and reached so far. And as far as more stuff on the web, whether it's, there's one script which we have ready for a web series. There's 2 short films which are ready, and there's a feature that I'm working on, but not for the web, that's a regular feature film. So yes, it's been very encouraging, and I'm writing quite a lot at the moment. I've worked with one, it wasn't really, was it in Independent? Highway was independent? Yeah, okay, so I don't know the difference between what is independent Marathi and mainstream Marathi. I thought Girish and Umesh Kulkarni were fairly mainstream, right?
Yeah, in terms of actors, they're mainstream. It just meant the kind of production. It wasn't a studio film, right?
Yeah, it wasn't a studio film. Yeah, okay. So it was really, really great because also they had a lot of people from FTII. Sudhakar Reddy, who was our DOP, who also then went and shot Sairat, had invented these beautiful lights which they used inside the car because the whole journey of Highway was inside we shot inside vehicles. So they devised a lot of interesting ways to do sound and camera and lights. That was wonderful. And they're really, really bright guys, and I really enjoyed working with them.
I have a question
answer? So, well,
सॉरी मैं आपका सवाल नहीं समझी. मतलब झूठ कैसे हो सकता है? I'm not sure I understand.
Is
कि
that
आप
is
क्या
that a
कह रहे
question
हैं?
to her? से पूछ रहे हैं, can I answer that? Yes, those views are true. They are not fake. Trust me. Its point is whether it's a pull or a push. Did somebody look for the video or somebody pushed the video at you? That's all.
I have a question for Vivek.
Take your video off. Yes. So we, being evolved in that on that platform, we being an MCN, yes, there are a lot of mischief that goes on the platform, and they keep on innovating.
So to that, content is always in danger of either being pirated or people, sort of subverting it here and there and doing different kinds of things. I think not to get distracted by that kind of thing and just really make good stuff that you believe in, and it will lead to organic views and organically things doing well. And then one should not worry too much about, of course there'll always be a cheater in class. वो तो हमेशा ही होगा. तो बेटर है कि आप अपनी पढ़ाई करके अच्छे से जाएं, अपना काम करें, एंड होपफुली इट विल डू वेल. तो ज़्यादा ना सोचें कि इधर उधर क्या हो रहा है.
Hello. I have a question for Vivek. Vivek, can you please comment on Marathi feature theatrical distribution? Because most of the Marathi filmmakers, they themselves have to distribute their films. And you must be aware how it happens in the rural center, how filmmakers get cheated by the exhibitors, that number of seats.
Practice for Lokmat. So over the last 21, 22 years, I've been involved in digital media and mobile entertainment space. So I've come across, this is a very unique case across various formats. So at one end of the ecosystem, we have talent. So each one of you on the stage today is a talent. Someone
Would you like
is
to stand
writing.
up? We can't see you. Oh, sorry.
So someone is writing, someone is acting. So each one of you are a part of a creative talent industry, right? And on the other hand, you have large aggregators and distribution partners. So each of you, so for example, you are engaged in the process of creating excellent content. And on the other hand, you have distributors who have the ability to upscale your content from a consumption perspective and make money for you. I've always seen that there is a divide which still exists between you and the ability to scale up the business in terms of making it more sensible from a monetizing perspective. So as you scale up from, say, a movie which did 44 million views without you really having too much of understanding, say, for example, of digital, but purely on the merit of content. But as you go into making more web series, etc., how do you see bridging this divide between creative talent and distribution and monetization?
It's a good question. I'm not sure that I have the answer because I would have done it by now, had I known. But we're exploring. Some of the people on this panel are already succeeding in doing that. We're in the process of setting up our own platform. My company is called The Eastern Way, and we're looking at branded content. The the conundrum still is how do we reach advertising agencies, do we reach brands individually, how do we do that? And that has been something I've been trying to do for the past 2 odd months, trying to reach out to people and see. There have been queries from some brands who've asked us if we would make something for them which would reach 47 million, and of course the answer was, I really can't promise you any numbers as such, because how can you do that? We could promise you a really good film that you might enjoy watching, but beyond that one can't really say. So yes, I can't really answer that question entirely. I answered it because I thought you were looking at me, but perhaps those two people over there and this fine gentleman here might be better equipped to answer that in terms of how it can be monetized, and Whacked Out Media is also monetizing it beautifully. I think keeping costs low is one. Beyond that, Paula.
Yeah, Ram, of course, you would be able to answer this because you are, you're putting out 800 videos a day, right? So
Yeah, so
YouTube isn't just going to
monetize
give
from
you
the
money. You have to sign up for monetization. Huh. So maybe I'll explain then how the YouTube advertising works.